Good morning. Today, still trucking through Luke, chapter 16, verses 1 through 8. Jesus said to his disciples, "A rich man had a steward who was reported to him for squandering his property. He summoned him and said, 'What is this I hear about you? Prepare a full account of your stewardship, because you can no longer be my steward.' The steward said to himself, 'What shall I do? Now that my master is taking the position of steward away from me, I am not strong enough to dig, and I am ashamed to beg. I know what I shall do, so that when I am removed from the stewardship, they may welcome me into their homes.' He called his master's debtors one by one. To the first he said, 'How much do you owe my master?' He replied, 100 measures of olive oil.' He said to him, 'Here is your promissory note. Sit down and quickly write one for 50. Then he said to another, 'How much do you owe?' He replied, 100 measures of wheat. He said to him, 'Here is your promissory note. Write one for 80. And the master commended that the dishonored steward for acting prudently. For the children of this world are more prudent in dealing with their own generation than the children of the light.'" So, I've heard this many times, and when I talk to other people who hear it, they all ask the same question: Did the dishonored steward do the right thing? I don't think that's really the point. I don't really think that's the point. I think the point is, how do we act as we go through life? Jesus was talking to his disciples, and he'd been preaching to them for a while, and a lot of people had come into his circle. Kind of a funny way to put it, but we're following him, and we're saying to be disciples of Jesus Christ. So, who's the master here? Well, you could say that it's God, and that the dishonored steward is basically trying to beg favor with people in the world to get by in the world, and not really worry so much about the consequences of having to deal with his master. That's one way to look at it. The way I see it is this. It all comes down to the last couple of lines. "And the master commended that dishonored steward for acting prudently, for the children of this world are more prudent in dealing with their own generation than the children of the light." Who are the children of the light? The children of God, the one who follows God's law and his ways. And he's saying basically the dishonest in this world sometimes are more prudent in helping the needy in this generation. That's kind of scathing. So how's this going to change my Friday? Well, it's kind of like being called out. When I see people in need, when I see people in debt, when I see people in pain, what do? Do I just try to tell them to read some Bible verse, or do I try to help them where they are at in life? Or do I do both? I think I'm supposed to do a little bit of both. Because, the gospel is great, but if you look at Jesus' life, he walked through life, and he met people where they were. He walked along the sea, he walked through the towns, he healed the sick, he fed the hungry, he administered to those who were in need. You read stories about Jesus in the Bible and the miracles he did. He would always do a miracle, and then he would do some preaching. He would say something important. He wouldn't say something important and then then administer to someone's need. So I guess if I'm going to take anything away from this, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to keep my eyes open today. and see how I can help people. And this is hard for me because I'm a very shy person. I really don't like talking to people. I don't like big groups of people. So it's a challenge for me, perhaps for you as well. I don't know, maybe you got something else out of this. That's all I gotta say about that.